You want the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth about sports in the state of Michigan?
You can't handle the truth!
Well, we're giving you the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast, the show that provides research and statistics about all the Detroit and Michigan sports teams, whether fans like it or not, and detects, exposes, and reveals actual and hidden facts and truth that the mainstream media doesn't want you to know. No junk, no entertainment, no homerism, no slappiness, no coddling, no pop culture, no conspiracy theories, no opinions, no shilling, and no fluff. Head over to our website, themichigansportstruthpodcast.com. Follow us on Twitter, Periscope, and Instagram at Michigan_Truth, and like and share our verified Facebook page, the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast. Also listen to us on Spreaker, CastBox, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts via iTunes, and Spotify. The Michigan Sports Truth Podcast does not represent or defame any of the teams it covers. It only detects, exposes, and reveals honest, actual, and hidden truth, facts, and statistics about them.
And welcome to another episode of the independent edition of the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast. I'm Taylor Phillips. Follow me on Twitter, Periscope, and Instagram at DT2Phillips with 2 L's.
That one is long gone!
Earlier this week, the Tigers were being sued by that one clubhouse attending towel collector by the name of Darrell whichever it's pronounced, Darrell Coleman, over Chris Bosio's further comments from last year. Now we've already known for over a full calendar year about Bosio's racist remark toward the employee, but this year, recently, from first Jeff Moss of the Detroit Sports Rag, and then Tigers beat writer Tony Paul at the Detroit News, that Bosio threatened to, quote, skin the employee alive, unquote, after Coleman left an object in Bosio's locker as a prank. The Tigers have denied Coleman's claims, but I assure you they are hiding the actual truth and thus lying. By the way, Tony Paul gave Jeff Moss full credit for his report on that stuff, which doesn't happen too often in mainstream media. Paul actually wrote a legitimate article in the Detroit News website and app, the Detroit News app, mobile app, and gave Moss the full credit on his Twitter handle at TonyPaul1984, which you can follow. You can also follow Moss on Twitter at JeffMoss91 and on Periscope at BarBradyMcCoskey. Now, right off the bat, as an employee, pranking someone else of any sort while on the job is only procrastination and not a crime. Bosio's comments in person toward Coleman are not only racist, but also death threats. Racism and death threats, as known, are not at all protected by the First Amendment of Congress, and they are so wrong that anyone will get in major trouble with the law at any point of time later thereafter. So that's out of the way. Next up, Dish Network and Sling TV have decided to drop the channel at Fox Sports Detroit after refusal to agree on a particular contract extension. So, Dish customers that are Tigers fans, Red Wings fans, and Piston fans currently left out. No timetable for that awful channel's return yet. But here's the entire situation. The Tigers are now 30-70. 30-70.
You are pathetic!
Which is the worst record in baseball, and they're a pathetic franchise. So in this case, Dish customers that are actually technically Tigers realist fans are and should be happy about the dropping because of how disappointed they are in that baseball team, like they have the last few years as of right now. The slappy Tigers fans that still want to watch them play on but have Dish, I can't feel sorry for. But I would advise all Fox Sports Detroit viewers that have Dish to try out YouTube TV. You can view your team's games on FSD on that app without having to subscribe to a particular provider, whether it be the Tigers, Red Wings, or Pistons. So there's always that. You just have to pay $55 extra just about per month to become a member, but that's totally worth it. So there. Download the YouTube TV app, find your location, and whatnot.
Touchdown, Detroit Lions!
The Lions signed Green Bay Packers defensive tackle Mike Daniels to a one-year, $9.1 million contract with $7.8 million guaranteed. This is a great low-risk, high-reward signing because in 3 of his 7 seasons in the NFL, which were recent, all of them with the Pack, he racked up a lot of total tackles. He recorded 41 total tackles in 2014, 33 in 2016, and 49 in 2017. Last year, he only came up with 18, which was less productive, just like in 2012, 2013, and 2015. So, as you can notice, we're seeing a pattern of good seasons and bad seasons that Mike Daniels is having in his career, which is fine. But to improve that, you need to have one great season after another, and not a pattern of good seasons and bad seasons. You got to have one great season after another and keep that going to become a totally great tackle, a totally great athlete. We'll see what happens with him this year as he joins the Honolulu Blue and Silver. They've also released running back Theo Riddick, who was recently talking with the New Orleans Saints in the Big Easy. The Lions have so many running backs on their roster that they needed to cut one of them just to have enough. So that's it. Another reminder that the Michigan Sports Truth podcast is also prime time on Blog Talk Radio under the username Mancini Sports on the Stables Network. Listen online at blogtalkradio.com/Mancini Sports. And if anyone is interested in sponsoring our primetime edition on the Stables Network, please email our fine producer, Mark Mancini, at mancinisports@yahoo.com. Check out our new website, the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast. Like its verified Facebook page, the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast, and follow its Periscope, Twitter, and Instagram at Michigan_Truth. I'm Taylor Phillips signing off. Follow me on Twitter, Periscope, and Instagram at DT2Phillips. Thanks very much for listening, downloading, and sharing. Stay smart, Michiganders. I rest my case. TTFN. Ta-ta for now. Hit 'em with a hind.
The Michigan Sports Truth Podcast does not represent or defame any of the teams it covers. It only detects, exposes, and reveals honest, actual, and hidden truth, facts, and statistics about them.
Mission complete.